as you continue to cultivate your husband and as you continue to cultivate your wife, they become more of a catch. So now you've caught them, but other people want to catch them too. That's why we see videos like this. That's why we see instances where men and women are tempted by other people to leave their significant other and to get into relationships with other people. Because other people look at all of this that you have created, that you have molded, that you have built now, and they want it. Hey guys, welcome back to Walk It Out. I'm so excited to be with you once again today. You know what? I'm really enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying it as well. If it's your first time here, welcome to Walk It Out. My name is Mtogo, and this whole platform is to help you walk out your faith. We want to make your faith practical. We want to give you the steps on how to actually do things. Because when we go to church, we learn about the principles, we learn about the standards most of the time. And there often isn't enough time to actually get enough context to know how to practically walk it out. Now, there'll be times where I go into the Bible and I go hard in the Bible, and there'll be other times where I have a conversation like we're going to have today. So I want you to leave some comments underneath, because what I'm going to be talking about is quite spicy, but something that happens quite a lot in society. And also, guys, I'm baking. So if you hear the noise from outside, is because I got the window open, because I can't keep everything closed. If I keep everything closed, I'll sweat more than I'm sweating now. I'll be out here looking like TD Jakes. And I don't want to necessarily look like that today. So guys, there's a video going around. There's a video of this lady who thinks it's okay to jump onto our captain. Captain of the South African rugby team. And she attempts to pull him in for a kiss. I don't know if you've seen it yet. I saw it for the first time today, and I wasn't actually expecting to see it. I was just looking at a friend's status, and bam, it popped up. And I was like, first of all, I was shocked, but second of all, I know exactly what it feels like to have that reaction where you just want to push and get the person off of you because what they're doing is highly inappropriate. And we speak about men doing this all the time, and men get into a lot of trouble for doing this, but we never pay attention and place emphasis on when women do this, because there are some women who think it's okay to do inappropriate things to somebody who's already made a commitment and who's under covenant to somebody else. What kind of world do we live in where we think when men do this thing, they should be jailed? People say they should cut off their penises. People say they should no longer be allowed to be part of society, blah, 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 blah. But if a woman does this, it's a joke and it's accepted, and it's something that we share and we post, and it becomes something that is a point of humor for us to really forget the deep matters and the things that are really important. So this lady, if you haven't seen the video, the South African rugby team won the World Cup. So they're touring the country and they are meeting with fans and they're celebrating. It's a happy moment. It's a wonderful time in the history of our country. And this lady thinks it's okay to go up to Siya Kolisi, who's a married man, and kiss him. Now, I've spoken to a few married men, and even with my own experiences, I've realized that there is a certain group of people, a bunch of us have realized this, that there's a certain group of people who find you more attractive once you get married. You know, when you're single, you have to make a decision of who you choose. And then once you get married and you've made a decision, there's other people who see you, who see your partner, and they see the work that you've done, and they want to choose you, even though you're already in a relationship and in a covenant with somebody else. This is something that we don't talk about enough, and I want to talk about it today. And the reason why I've seen this happen so often is because of this. If you think about marriage, right? You as a single person work on yourself, and then your significant other as a single person, they work on themselves, right? You are two single and whole, complete individuals. Well, we hope you are. You come into a marriage and you continue to serve one another. So instead of going into the marriage to receive, you go into the marriage to give. Instead of going into the marriage to be filled, you go into the marriage to empty yourself. And as God is filling you, you're pouring yourself into the other person, and the other person is pouring themselves into you. Hence, you both get your needs met. Now, In the process of doing that, God is also revealing to you through your partner all of your weaknesses, all of the things about you that are not so good, things that you need to improve on, all the areas of your life that you need to work on, whether it's your anger, whether it's your depression, whether it's your attitude, whether it's your weight, whatever it is. If you're a lazy person, they will call you out and hold you accountable to being lazy, right? And that makes it difficult because, uh, like I said in a video before, marriage is for strippers. So you have to take off all the stuff. And as you're taking off all of the stuff, you're actually being exposed to your partner. If you haven't watched the video, you can check this link up here and do that. So in this process of stripping, right, this person is working and improving you, and you as an individual are working and improving them because you live together, right? You sit on the couch and you watch a movie together, you go to bed together, you spend time together, and you see their habits, you see the things that they do, both good and bad. Maybe they eat and they don't wash the dishes and they leave the dishes on the sink. Maybe the other person, when they bath, they don't quite bath properly. They've got issues with their hygiene and all those kinds of things, but you're working on each other. And the more you speak into this person's life, and the more you say things about them, not in a negative way, but to help them and to really build them up, the more they do the same thing. And over time, guess what's happening? The both of you are becoming more valuable, more attractive individuals. And the issue with us as human beings is that we think that just because we have worked on this person and now they are so much easier to live with, they're such a delight that you liked them before, but now you like them even more. You think that just because you've done all of that work and that you see that work and that you appreciate it and you've done all of that for yourself, that other people don't see it. Like there's no chance. What happens is, as you continue to cultivate your husband and as you continue to cultivate your wife, they become more of a catch. So now you've caught them, but other people want to catch them too. That's why we see videos like this. That's why we see instances where men and women are tempted by other people to leave their significant other and to get into relationships with other people. Because other people look at all of this that you have created, that you have molded, that you have built now, and they want it. And also, what tends to happen is that they look around, like in the dating pool, and they look at all the people who are single and available, who are single and ready to mingle, who want to go out with them, who are in their DMs, and they're like, yeah, whatever, like you're okay. But that guy who's married, that guy who's stable, that guy who's reliable, the guy who's consistent, the guy who's only paying attention to his wife, he's doing his work, he's winning in the areas that matter. I want him. And if you think about our captain, Siya Kolisi has a wonderful career. He's committed to his wife, as far as we know. And he's a person of spirituality, he's a person of faith. Now, if you think about this, he provides financial security, he's relationally, he's secure, and his wife is feeling that security. And number three, he's a person of faith. This guy is a catch. And also, bear in mind, before he won the World Cup, he was already successful. Now he's uber successful because he is the best of the best in the world. The team is. I don't know as much as an individual. I don't know as much, but I know that he's at the top of his career. So doing well in his faith, doing well in relationship, doing well in his career. That immediately makes you attractive to a lot of people. Now, it's one thing to be attractive when you're single, because that attraction gives you more options, right? It's good to be successful. It's good to be doing well at life because it gives you more options of who to choose from. And you know, some people who just need to get their life together and they keep saying like, "There's nobody wants me. There aren't enough people to date and all those kinds of things." But the issue there isn't that people who you want to date or the people that you're looking for. Usually the issue is you, because you haven't developed into the full image of who God has created you to be. You're not single and you're not whole as an individual. And that's why you can't get into a relationship, because you're getting into a relationship to try and get somebody to fill you. You're getting into a relationship to try and get somebody to complete you, but that's not why you get married. The Bible speaks about how I almost said, the Bible doesn't speak about how the two halves will become whole. The Bible speaks about how this individual and this individual, this whole individual, single and single, get together. The two will be joined and become one. It doesn't say the halves will become whole. It doesn't say 3/4 and 1/4 will be joined and become whole. Because if you join like that and you guys aren't in a good space, this relationship becomes toxic because this person is not giving me what I need, and this person doesn't understand me, they don't hear me, etc., etc., etc. It's because you went into it not single and whole. You went into it as a deficit. Now, when you go into it in a deficit and God tells you that when you get married, you're serving one another, you're like, but there's so many things that I need from my partner. They need to do it for me first. And that's where we get it wrong because that's not the purpose. That's not how God designed marriage. You need to be single, you need to be whole as an individual, and this person needs to be single and they need to be whole as an individual. They need to be a unit. Think about it. This bottle, this is a single bottle, it's a whole bottle, nothing's missing. So if we're talking about singleness, we're talking about wholeness. We're not saying that you're lacking a partner. We're saying that you're whole and you complete as an individual. And then when you join with somebody, the two of you become a unit. But this unit is already whole as an individual. So when you get into it, you're serving one another. You're not taking from one another. You're committing to serving the other person for the rest of your lives without needing anything. So you say to me, but I need stuff. Yes, God knows you need stuff. So you present those needs to God. God speaks to your partner meets your needs. Present those needs to God. God speaks to your partner, and then your partner meets your needs. And now I'm not saying that there shouldn't be communication of like the things that you like and the things that um the things that you've come to require in a marriage. I'm saying that the needs that you have, if you're not going into it whole, let me not complicate this. If you're not going into this thing whole, you're messing up because now you're bringing a deficit into this relationship. And God is saying, speak to me, I'll speak to your partner, and we'll get it. But now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't communicate about, babe, I need more help around the house. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, before I complicate this thing. So you guys work on each other as a couple, chiseling. As a husband, your wife, her attitude, her temper, this whole idea that she needs to be independent and that she doesn't need you. You work all of those things out of her life. As a wife, you're working on your husband. His ego. He's learning to say sorry. He's learning to do things without you having to ask him. Now you both a catch. Now people who are outside, who are too lazy to get into a relationship and to make it work as well, they want to steal your peace. So instead of getting into a relationship and dating someone and saying, this is the kind of crazy I can deal with the rest of my life, let's work and let's cultivate and let's build each other, they want to take your person. And guys, listen, I want to warn somebody who's been married for a few months, for a few years, probably even people who've been married for way longer than that, that as you continue to cultivate one another, you need to continue to protect one another. So as you continue to develop this person into the image and into the person that God created them to be, and God is using you to make this person even better, not only for you, but for society and for the world in general, there has to be an element of protection that you put in place. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, there's certain environments that this person shouldn't be in. If you think about it, if you're a married person, you shouldn't be hanging around single people who constantly are looking for the next person. You shouldn't be hanging around friends, or family who think it's okay for you to be married and to dabble and taste and play with other women on the side. For a woman, you shouldn't be around people who like to gossip and who like to complain and speak negative things over their families and over their husbands, because you're going to take that home and do it in your house as well. You should concentrate on your environment, concentrate on your person, and continue to cultivate them. And as you continue to cultivate them, you protect them. You should be able to have the kind of conversation saying, babe, I don't think you should go there. Because you know what happens when you hang out with that friend. You should be able to say, hey, listen, my darling, I love you so much, but if you wear that, this is the kind of attention you're going to get from other people. Now, I'm not saying I don't want you to be sexy, but I'm saying I don't want you to grab that kind of attention. You are already attractive as a human being. You're already attractive as a husband or as a wife. But if you put that on, it makes it a little bit difficult. So let's have those kinds of conversations as people. Let's have those kind of conversations amongst friends too, because as friends, if you are a bunch of boys and you're all married, you need to be able to hold each other accountable. You need to have the kind of environment and the kind of friends that can tell you when you're wrong. That even though you're the friend who seems to be successful and seems to have it all together, you should be open to have your friends speak into your life and to try and get you to move from going in the wrong path to moving in this right path. Let me tell you, it's not going to be an easy thing, but it's going to be a right thing. Because what the enemy wants to do is the enemy wants to destroy your marriage. He wants to destroy your marriage not just because of the two of you, but because of the image that it portrays. I've said this before and I'll continue to say it many times. The relationship between husband and wife is a mirror of Christ and the church. So as people are watching you love each other, commit to each other, be faithful to each other, they're reminded of how much God loves the church, how much God loves his people. So what the enemy is trying to do is he's trying to destroy this image, and in the process he's trying to destroy you. Because if you can be destroyed and if you can be bitter and if you can turn from God and turn from people and turn from this wonderful thing called marriage, he'll be happy. And other people will look and say, yeah, I don't want to get married because if I get married, I want to look like that, and I don't want that. So I'd rather keep doing this crazy thing that I do where I'm in one situationship and I move to another instead of committing and finding myself in relationship with someone. And also, if the image is ruined of Christ and the church, it helps people not have a relationship with Christ because they think, yeah, no, if Christians get married and they do that, I don't want to be a part of it. So continue to build on another. Continue to remove all these parts that don't make them a good person and replace them with the things that do make them a good person. And as you continue to do that, make sure that you're putting structures in place to protect one another. Let me tell you something. And I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it. For me as a married person, I never want to create the kind of conversations on my WhatsApp, in my DMs, or in a telephone conversation where you feel like you can take things to another level, irrespective of how I feel about you. If you think I am attractive, that is not my responsibility to manage. That's your responsibility to manage. My responsibility to manage is how is I need to control how you bring that attraction into my sphere. So let me give you an example. As when I was a pastor, a youth pastor, I was single, and I want to provide it from the context of singleness, and then I'll provide from the context of marriage. So when I was a youth pastor, I was working out all the time. I used to dress very well. I used to use colognes, all those kinds of things. Cut my hair, blah 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 blah. Because remember, number one, I like me and I want to look nice for me, but also I want to attract the person who I want to spend the rest of my life with because I wanted to get married. But now, in the process of doing all of this, there are people who find you attractive that are not supposed to find you attractive. Now, give you a simple example. So, after church, we'd have like a thing where people come up and ask for prayer. Now, one time there was a lady who was coming up, man, to get prayer. But you can see this one, this one is not just coming for prayer from anybody. She wants prayer from me. And you can see that she doesn't just want help with the situation. She wants to enjoy this prayer. Like you know what I'm saying? Like she doesn't just want to get prayed for. She wants somebody to lay her hands. Not specifically, not just somebody, specifically me. She wants me to lay my hands on her. So situations like that. Now, they find me attractive, but my responsibility is to protect me and how I respond to that attraction. So what do I do when I pray? Keep a distance, keep the prayer short, and then redirect them to somebody else. Hey, that person, please go and speak to this person. I believe that she can connect you and link you with someone who can help you. Listen, I'm not doing counseling with you. Listen to me, single or married, I am not doing counseling with you. Single or married, I'm not going into environments where I'm having your number and you're having conversations with me where we can engage with something that I believe will be dangerous for me. So I cut it. As a married person, my DMs, my WhatsApp, my phone call conversations, whenever we talk and engage, I am not going to respond to you, whatever you say, in a manner that thinks that whatever you're saying to me is okay, especially if it's inappropriate. So if you say something to me that's a bit forward, if you say something to me that as South Africans we say is lastig, you're you're being extra. You're saying something that is not good or in context, especially for a person who's married. I want to make sure that I create an environment where that is shunned upon, where you feel stupid for trying to approach me with all those kinds of things. Now, some men are a little bit dodgy because if she feels comfortable sending you that text again and again and again, what kind of environments are you creating in your DMs? Excuse me. What kind of environments are you creating on telephone conversations? Like, how are you speaking? Are you speaking with like that flirtatious smile? We're on the phone, you're like, yeah, you know, it's cool. Yeah, come get the tools. Yeah, how much is it again? You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's not appropriate. That's not okay. So, from both sides, if somebody finds you attractive, they need to manage their attraction because that's not your problem. But how you respond to how they find you attractive is your problem, and that's for you to manage. Guys, me, if you send me an inappropriate message, video, whatever, my wife's gonna find out about it. There's one time where somebody sent me something inappropriate, and my wife replied, like, she sent a photo of herself. Like, imagine trying to send me a message, and then you just get a reply from my wife, and it's like a picture of her. So, listen, as some men need to grow up, like, we just need to mature and get to the point where you've decided that this is my commitment, and I'm sticking to it, not just for that person, but for me as well. And as two individuals, we must remember that we're mirroring Christ and the church. So this becomes a divine thing. It becomes a spiritual thing. Because yes, you will fight natural battles, but you're also going to fight spiritual battles because the enemy doesn't like this establishment and this commitment um, and this covenant called marriage. So first of all, as I wrap this thing up, single people, it's not okay to try and go for married people. May Jesus rebuke you for doing that. And I'm not trying to condemn you. I'm just trying to help you move out of that and focus on you. So that as you're focusing on you and as God is refining you, God is refining somebody else who'll be the perfect person for you. But don't chase somebody married because they're already in covenant. And by you chasing them, you're fighting something that God has established and has approved. So you're not just chasing them, you're fighting God because this is God's commitment. This is God's covenant. This is something that God has established and has blessed. So you can't fight somebody you can't fight God by trying to separate two people. You need to work on being whole as an individual. Tell God about the things about your life that make you lonely. Tell God about your daddy issues. Go to counseling, receive therapy, and work on all the things that have hurt you growing up. So that once you get that healing and once you get restored and once God feels like you're at a good place, He'll introduce somebody who's been doing the same kind of work. Now, if you're not in an environment where people are making you better, I want to encourage you to do that. I want to encourage you to go to church. I want to encourage you to establish a relationship with God. I want to encourage you to listen to messages online and to podcasts where you become a better individual. Because as you become a whole as an individual and as you grow and as you get the healing that God has for you, God will meet you. God will meet you. God will help you meet with somebody who's doing the same kind of work and you guys can establish this wonderful relationship. If you're married, don't be the kind of place that can't be trusted. Don't be an environment, whether it's in your WhatsApps, your DM, or whatever, where you are cultivating and you're entertaining conversations that are not healthy for you as an individual and not healthy for your marriage. Because, like I always say, your spouse is going to find out. Besides the fact that it's wrong, you don't want to hurt the person who God has trusted you to manage. Think about this. When you get into marriage, God is saying, I trust you with this individual. I'm trusting that I will take care of this person through you, that I'm going to meet their needs through you. And as you guys are meeting each other's needs, listen, this is somebody that I love. This is somebody who means a lot to me, and I'm putting them in your hands. So it's not okay. It's definitely and absolutely not okay. And for some of us, you need to become more loud with your commitment. You need to start making more noise about your commitment. If it means you need to go from wearing a black ring to a white ring, then you need to do that. If it means you need to go from wearing no ring to wearing a ring, you need to do that. If it means you need to start wearing t-shirts that say taken, then you must do that. But whatever you do, make your commitment more public, because the more public it is, the more accountable you are, and the more accountable you are, the less likely you are to do something stupid. The enemy is trying to tempt all of us, and he won't tempt us with things that we don't like. He'll always tempt you with things that you do like. You always have these affinities, and you always have these proclivities and these inclinations, and the enemy knows them. So he'll try and press you in those areas. He won't test you where you're strong, because that's stupid. He'll go for you where you're weak. So wherever there's weaknesses, wherever there's holes, ask God to help you in those areas, and you put up structures there to make sure that you are held accountable. If you can't be trusted with your phone at night, switch off the Wi-Fi before you go to bed. Like, put the Wi-Fi on the other side of the house, switch it off before you go to bed, so that if you wake up in the middle of the night, you're not tempted to go and look at inappropriate content or to have inappropriate conversations. I know there's times where, like I always say, if I'm under severe pressure, that's when I feel the most tempted. That's when I will say, like, if I wake up in the middle of the night and I don't feel like God is waking me up for something specific, I'll put my phone down and I'll use Nadia's phone. If I feel like I don't need to use Nadia's phone, I'll play games, but I'll keep my mobile data off and I won't connect to the Wi-Fi, because whatever is looking for my attention at that time of the morning is not good for me. And my bro, I can tell you it's not good for you too. Focus in and lock in on the thing that God has put in front of you, the wonderful gift that is marriage and the wonderful gift that is your wife. Lock in and commit to her. Serve her wholly. And as you continue to do that, God will bless you and God will honor you for your commitment. And you'll see you can use all of that energy that you were trying to focus on other people, cultivate your wife, and build her into the person that you've always wanted her to be. Don't change her, because you didn't marry her to change her, but continue to reveal and to cultivate this person that she's always been, and make her the best and the truest version of herself. So I've said a lot, and I've gone from one thing to another thing, but I'm passionate about it, and I feel like it's something that we need to have more conversations about. So please, in the comments, if you feel brave enough, I know some of you don't feel brave enough, just let me know if you've had an experience like this. Let me know if there's something like this that has happened in your life, or if you feel like there's something that somebody can do to make this thing a lot better. Also, as I wrap this thing up, please don't forget to hit that like button. So if you click underneath here, it tells the algorithm that this is some good content and that it should push it to other people, because we don't want to just be having a conversation amongst ourselves. We want to try and help other people too. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you'd like to help us, you'd like to donate, please feel free to do so. I want to make this my full-time paid job, and I need your help doing it. If you don't have the bucks, please just hit the like button and share it with somebody, because that also helps me as well. God bless you. We love you, and we'll see you once again on Wednesday.